Greetings! Welcome to the devlog for update 87 of Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades. We're going to start off as always with a quick sound check. Make sure speakers aren't up too high. Wonderful. So what have we got for you this week? Well, we've got something extra special. Many of you who've been following along on the subreddit know about the ridiculous hints that I have been dropping for the past 2 weeks. And so finally, it's time to take a look at what those all were about. Many of you have guessed that this is, you could say, a Half-Life themed update, and you would be right. But exactly how did this transpire, and how did this exactly escalate? I'm going to take you on a little journey with some toys. So many of you know that that the game already has in it basically all of the realistic weapons that have appeared in past Half-Life games, like our USP match here. And so it was around the time that I realized that, wanting to put together this update, that I decided it would be fun to tune those up and make some adjustments or variants that would match the way those sort of weapons behaved a little more in Half-Life 2. So an example of this was making, a 9mm version of our USP match and popping the glow sights on it that are present in the, in that game, which definitely helps. Oops. With aiming, and of course we've got a lot more ammo in the mag because it's 9mm. Come on, stay down. Useful when you can't aim like me. So it started with some small stuff like that. I got around to some long time needed fixes, like the fact that the stock on our SPOS 12 actually goes all the way back. Sorry it only took me, I don't know, like 2.5 years to fix this. And from there, it kind of escalated further with me asking questions like, I wonder if it would be possible to actually make an SMG with an underbarrel launcher on it, like you get in Half-Life 2, make sense. And while this doesn't make all the sense in the world, popping a sort of integrating a GP25 underneath an MP7 actually makes for a fairly effective dual platform. Stay down. Up. Can never find competent help these days. There we go. Very nice, very nice. Sight on here, courtesy of Stefan. Looks like we got some. There we go. Someone was being distracting. That continued on there, and while talking with Stefan, we came up with some even more ridiculous ideas that I think you will quite like. The first of these was in 2 of our clues, and is a ridiculous rendition of one of my favorite, really fictional weapons in any video game. I present to you the Sustenance crossbow with our extra large neck massager battery. This is a mashup of a crossbow and, have you ever been to like a 7-Eleven and there are those hot dog rollers? Kind of like that. We splat a nice 2-foot long hot dog on this, and then when we hold the trigger, let me extend that stock there, it chars that sucker solid. Listen to that sizzle. And fires it away. Let's actually try this on one of our little SOSIC volunteers here.
Clocking out.
Aww. As you can see, it's got a bit of drop to it, a little bit of travel time, but is basically a one-hit kill. It's got a couple special properties, though, which are perhaps a little macabre. We need to grab a volunteer. Come here. You there. Get back up. There we go. I'm so sorry for this.
Got any aspirin?
No, I really don't. As you can see, it can stick them to targets. Let's get another one here. Sorry, buddy.
Nap time!
And if you get them real close to each other, I think these are close enough. Let's make sure though. Let's get them nice and close. Doot 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 doot. Oh. And that takes them both out, which allows you to create all sorts of horrible meaty centipede like puppet aggregations. It took far too much work making this work in a way that doesn't completely glitch out. And as you can see here, this just gets like a little bit of never stops moving kind of thing. So that can get a little distracting. So sometimes you might want to just, pin that one in place too. So there is your sustenance crossbow. I hope you have fun doing absolutely.
Calling my union rep.
You better have a blast with it. Let's move on to the next ridiculous toy. This one's has some long requested features. So this next one is a bit of an explosive toy. I give you the Spam, one of our other clues. This is a close approximation of a weapon that I had completely forgotten about that was only ever present in Half-Life 2 Deathmatch. That's based on a real munition. It's a configurable, in real life used against like vehicles, not wieners. That can be used in one of two forms. We have a detonator to go with it, so we can either click the trigger over that, arm it, and use this essentially as a satchel charge. Get you later! Oh, I was not close enough for that. It does not have a super high blast radius, so you typically want to leave these, say, on the floor right at the entrance to a doorway. Helps to arm them first. Boop. Science. And you can use it like that, or, oops, no, that's armed. Don't let Anton play with explosives. We can flip up that and affix this to a wall. And that is pointed right at him, which means the moment we break that beam, we like to recycle over here. Let's give this a throw. Oh, that was a terrible throw. Let's give it a second one. Ha! Nope. Third tries the charm. Blammo. So you now have laser mines. These are so much fun to play with, especially in Take and Hold. Let's pop one there. And don't arm it that way. I don't know if he'll actually be close enough to the blast there. Maybe we'll just put one right there. And start wandering. Come on. Go through the beam. Go through. Go! Wonderful. So, that is the second of our new ridiculous toys. Now let's look at the third. So many of you might have been led to believe that there's no such thing as an AR-3. That it's the sort of thing that only pain-in-the-ass radio operators talk about while trying to impress someone. You would be wrong, because we're absolutely lousy with AR-3s down in City 17. I give you this, the Sustenance AR-3, a ramshackle AR-2 built out of garbage. It is a belt-fed weapon that fires 10 by 27 millimeter pulsed ammunition. Let's give this a shot. Oh, take the safety off.
Wow, nice one.
Wonderful. This is co-produced by Stefan and co-designed by both of us. It's a little different from the other belt feds in that to speed up reloading, because of the fact that it doesn't use sort of a traditional belt, but something a little more sci-fi, you can just tear the magazine back out of it, and the belt will auto-retract into it, which makes it a little bit faster to reload. You still got to put the belt up onto it. As you can see, it packs quite a punch. In addition to its primary fire, the AR-3 fires one of the most powerful munitions ever added to H3. That's right, a dark matter lemon. Boop. With the concentrated anguish of our great lord, Jerry the Lemon.
Guess I'm dead meat, dog.
It's fired up so you can really hear him scream. Oh, I don't know about you, but that never stops being funny for me. As you can see, it just absolutely vaporizes any Sosig it goes through. Yes, doing this visual effect and making this work with the existing systems took way too long.
Again.
Ah, always surprises me. I don't know. This just cracks me up. Thanks to Joe for the hilarious sound work. So, I'm rambling along. You might be like, well, these are some neat toys, Anton, but do you have anything cool for us to, like, do with them? I do indeed. We have a new category in Taken Hold called Meme-tastic Meats. These are for various themes that aren't about, say, a time period or a specific game mechanic, but something a little more thematic, usually fiction. And the first member of this category is Welldone Freemeat. Completely custom equipment progression. This is a bit of an experiment for Taken Hold, because instead of drawing from this huge pool of weapons, it's drawing from a very restricted one that is designed to sort of remix and recreate, roughly speaking, the combat progression that you get in a good chunk of Half-Life 2. Obviously with, you know, more realistic damage and with H3's sort of relationship for combat. Anyway, let's just start it up and take a look. So we start with a crowbar and a health power-up because, of course, what else would we start with? Let's go take a look at what we'll be fighting. Coming up on our supply point.
I really have no idea what all these dispatch codes mean. I just say random numbers and no one's called me out on it yet.
What's this? Oh dear!
Investigating.
Stay dead. So let's grab our first weapon here. Let's see, this time, looks like it gave us our revolver. In the first hold, it's always going to be your revolver or the USP match. Each of the holds has a specific set of weapons that are appropriate for it, and really finely tuned challenges for what weapon is available to you. Let's continue on.
What? Yikes! Here we go!
As you advance further, you'll encounter even more enemy types than our uncivil erections over there. Like our bread crab zombies. Yes, the puns keep getting worse! We've attracted a patrol.
This one's mine.
One thing to be aware of is you're going to take a lot more damage playing this mode, and so you'll notice that our healing power-ups are much cheaper than they are in other take and hold characters. Oh no, we've attracted more attention.
Checking something.
Oh yeah. You can now also pick these crates up and launch them as weapons. Super useful, especially in limited ammo mode. Oh no! One of them spawned a meat hack. Anywho, I'm not going to go through a whole playthrough of this for now, because it actually takes a little longer than some of the other characters because of some of the surprises and horrors waiting for you in it. It's about 30 minutes long. Anywho, let's jump out of VR right now and talk about the other stuff that was added in this update. Yo! Out of VR now. I hope you all enjoy the sort of ridiculous parody that we have put together with this take and hold character. As well as the new toys to go with it. It has been a blast to work on, a bit difficult to focus on, especially this week, given what else came out, which just finished super late last night. Still shook from it. But yeah, so in addition to what was added that I showed you, the Evo 3 has some new magazines in it. You're going to see over the next month, I'm going to add in extra different sort of capacity magazines for certain platforms that don't have them. Let's see, the Flipso lighter can now be harnessed, which makes it easier to use things that are fused in tense combat. Bolt actions and obrezes have now been separated from each other in take and hold sort of groups with different costs. So it's no longer the case that you'll buy a bolt action rifle, playing the World War II character, and be given an obrez. They are now distinct. They show up differently at different levels with different costs, as should be the case. And I fixed the top rotating stocks on the other weapons other than the SPAS 12, where it didn't open completely. So yeah, so that just about has it for this week. As I said, this take and hold character is a bit of an experiment in terms of having a much more limited weapon pool, but a way more finely designed curve. Be aware that it is much more challenging on one-hit mode and limited ammo, just because of the amount of enemies, the amount of melee damage you're likely going to take, or is going to be very difficult to avoid, especially once you get to the third hold phase, which is a place that we've been told to never go. So yeah, I hope you have fun with it, and I look forward to seeing what y'all think. Have a wonderful weekend. Peace.